Boom! What's up, Waves Capital? It's Royce Jacob, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about whether we are currently dealing with the beginning of a new bull market cycle, or what will be looked back at as a bull trap when it comes to some of the breakouts we've been seeing of long-term resistance in major US equity indices like the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. And again, because these are the major indices or indexes of the US equity markets, these breakouts are a pretty big deal when it comes to every single stock in the US stock market, of course. Okay, so we will be keeping a macro today. We will be taking a look at a few of the major players when it comes to the US financial markets, including the DXY or the US dollar index, of course, the S&P 500 or the SPY, and the Nasdaq 100 or the triple Qs, at least the ETFs of these two. Of course, discussing those breakouts once again and whether or not these are looking like bull traps or, again, the beginnings of another bull market cycle, which I will say right now is personally the side that I lean on. And then we will close it out with taking a look at Bitcoin on the charts as well, because at the time of recording, Bitcoin is looking pretty damn impressive. Okay. So again, going to spend the majority of our time on the charts today, keeping this video pretty technically skewed, but we cannot discount the fundamentals. We will be taking a quick look at the good old fear and greed index, just because it's always good to know what investors are thinking and how they're feeling more so. Of course, in relation to the fear and greed index right now, looking a bit greedy. We will be talking about why that's can be alarming, but I'll also explain why I'm not personally alarmed about this just yet, and where I will start getting alarmed. Of course, we will touch on Tesla's earnings report as well. This just came out right before I started recording this, so I figured I'll touch on this, and this is just a good example, I should say a good micro example of the sentiment in the markets right now as we progress through Q4 earnings season, or you could say Q1 of 2023 earnings season. Of course, looking back at Q4 2022 numbers. And really what I want to highlight when discussing these earnings reports is the expectations going into them and why we're seeing, for the most part, beats on some of the earnings reports that we've seen over the past couple of weeks, and why I expect this trend to persist, which of course does feed the argument that hopefully we're in the beginning stages of the next bull market cycle. Okay, so that is the breakdown of the video, you guys. Before we get into it, please give the video a like if you go on to gain any value from it today. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and want to catch more content like this. You want to join Waves Capital, want to join the Waves fam, and let me know in the comments down below. Do you think this will be a bull trap, or do you think these are the early stages of the next macro bull market cycle? Okay. And of course, let me know why. Rationalize your thoughts. Look forward to talking to you guys downstairs. Let's get into it, you guys. We will talk the S&P 500 and Nasdaq once again, but I feel it's important to take a look at the DXY first. Okay. Golden rule of macro. And I always say this in the newsletter. We will reference the newsletter as well in this video, but you guys, golden rule of macro. This is macro 101. DXY up, or the US dollar up, everything that trades against the US dollar down. Okay, so DXY up, pretty much everything else down, because the dollar is the US global, or the global reserve currency. Therefore, pretty much everything trades against it. It is the base pair for most assets on earth. Again, gold, silver, equities, cryptos, of course. So dollar down, which is what's happening right now. The dollar has been in a downtrend for quite a while now, really since September of 2022. We have been in a pretty persistent downtrend following a massive rally over the majority of 2022. And right now, the fact that the dollar is still holding this pretty significant downtrend is good news. And yet another reinforcement for the idea that, the S&P 500 and Nasdaq probably have solidified a breakout to the upside. And again, hopefully are in the early stages of that next phase of the bull market cycle. But when it comes to how much farther I think the dollar will decline, and again, this also falls in line with kind of my idea that I've been saying here on the channel for a long time, that we've talked about so much in the newsletter lately. And really what I'm trading my portfolio against is kind of early to mid-February target when it comes to upside in equities and again, as a core, like to contrast that downside in the dollar. Okay, so the dollar in when we're speaking on a more medium-term time horizon is in this descending channel right here. Okay, dollar descending channel. This is of course a conservative line of resistance right here, but this line of support looks pretty damn solid, right? This is a very clear line of support from a technical perspective. And this does perfectly coincide with the target that I've had quite a while for a dollar, just under $100 or just above $99, I should say, or just above 99, not dollars necessarily, but right above 99, where we were, a real, psychological even, of course, but a level that we were struggling under for a long time, just under a year ago, back in March of 2022. So this is a historical even. This is a psychological even as well. And this does coincide beautifully with the low end of support on this descending channel for the Dixie on February 8th. Okay, so again, really falling into that early to mid-February kind of time frame that I'm looking at. And as we'll see now, this does come into play with names like the S&P 500 as well. Okay, so let's zoom out quickly and talk about this line of resistance that has been broken. And as of today, as of about half an hour ago now, we have closed 3 daily candles above this line of resistance. That is extremely significant. And there will be some of you out there who say, this should be the line of resistance right there, because there is this one candle, which could be said, and there is some validity to that because we did bounce perfectly off of that. But again, you guys, I don't believe that. I don't buy that. That's a single touch point as opposed to this very, very significant line of resistance that was proven, first touch point back in the all-time high, January 3rd, 2022. Next touch points to litter, creating the line. Boom, perfect test in August of this year, creating that third touch point. And then right here, a rejection, a daily candle break, but then closure below it, really signaling the strength of this line of resistance. Again, we got this other break. It didn't last long though, and I'm not going to count that. And I don't think, neither do I think you guys should. It's similar to how I feel about candle wick highs and lows, okay? So what do I think is going to happen here? I've said this for a long time, and a lot of you who are members of the newsletter group, of the portfolio group, can attest to this. I did say that not the second, but once we got that confirmation, once we got that daily candle closure above this macro line of resistance, once again, this orange line right here, my next target from there would be the previous line of support, okay? This previous line of support right here, since it has been broken, it has not yet retested this line. And again, TA 101 right there, broken support becomes new resistance once a reversal is in place. Therefore, I think this will be the next target. And what do you know? This target also aligns with the conservative line of resistance. Again, not taking this, not going like that, which is what some traders may be doing. I think it's a lot more conservative to do this. And when taking the line of short-term resistance on, again, the shorter-term ascending channel and intersecting it with this previous line of support that has been my initial break target, that would take us to 440 for this buy, or about 10% up from here in mid-December, or December or February 17th, which is a very significant day. You guys who are members of the portfolio would know that. And for those of you who aren't, it's the day that, there are some major options contracts expirations on this day. Okay. So in the case that I'm right here, in the case that, the bulls prevail, I'm super pumped. I will say that I'm hedged. For full transparency, I am hedged with Apple puts, just in the case that, there's a black swan or curveball is thrown into the situation. But right now, I can't confidently say that the bull in me is strong. I am far more bullish than bearish. The portfolio is, like 95% calls to 5% puts pretty much. Maybe like 90-10-ish, but very, very bullish on the markets. And of course, my money is where my mouth is, guys. Once again, if the SPY is doing good, considering the SPY is the benchmark index for the US equity markets, if the SPY is climbing, it's pretty damn likely that, growth stocks, growth sectors, and some of our favorite small caps are climbing significantly higher than that, okay, or exponentially more than the SPY is, all right? So on that note, you guys do want to reference the newsletter just because I did sum up my thoughts on this initial break. Why don't you guys know how I'm thinking and just talk about quickly talk about what else is going on in the markets and what's exciting me prior to getting into the Nasdaq and Bitcoin, and of course closing out with Tesla. Okay, so the results of this report will definitely impact investor sentiment. Speaking of the Tesla report and Microsoft reports, Tesla, even since we started the video, is looking good right now, up almost 2%. You love to see that. But its macro technicals remain very strong, as we just discussed. Okay, S&P 500 and Nasdaq have held their lines above macro resistance, with the S&P retesting that broken line of resistance. This was actually yesterday's newsletter for full transparency. Boom, perfect retest of that macro line of resistance to the T on the hourly candles, bounced right off of it, and now we're seeing the price action that we're seeing today. Every quant and technical analyst on the planet just saw this breakout occur, and I can't imagine that any of them could be feeling bearish at the moment. The month isn't over just yet, and I believe that this exceptional January effect will propel the bulls into the month of February. So let's ride, okay? You guys, if you want the daily newsletters, if you want to know what I'm thinking about the AI sector, that is pretty evident at this point. It's the most excited I've been about a sector since probably crypto in early 2020, if I'm being honest. So pumped about this. If you want to know what I'm thinking about AI, you want to know what I'm thinking about some of the earnings plays, just sentiment around earnings, which I'll just read that right now. So the big, this is really my thesis on earnings. Then we'll use this to segue into Tesla's earnings, okay? So we discussed this a couple of weeks back when the big banks kicked off earnings season. And in press, but to reiterate the general thesis, consensus earnings estimates, so analyst estimates, for Q4 of 2022 are so bad that as long as the company reporting doesn't completely flop, it's likely that the stock will hold its ground at the very least. And again, Tesla, which we'll read over right now, is a good example of that. Microsoft as well. Netflix was a great example of that. This is the trend we're currently seeing, and this trend is likely to persist, and that's just the nature of trends, okay? So, again, really just hacking onto the arguments. You guys can assume by now that I definitely lean on the side of the fact that this is the beginning of another bull market, the next phase of the overall long-term bull market cycle. But again, you guys, it's always possible that we do see a reversal. It just seems very, very unlikely to me at this point. So, round of applause for the bulls right now. And, I'm super pumped about the positioning in the portfolio, especially, again, our small caps and growth stocks. So if you guys want the daily newsletters, which I write every single morning during market hours, if you guys want to know what my personal portfolio consists of, aka the Waves Capital portfolio, that's the first link in the description box down below. You receive a complete breakdown of my entire personal portfolio, all of my call options, put options, how I'm hedging, what I'm long on, what I'm trading it, why I'm trading it, what I'm doing. Of course, explained in my daily trailer newsletters. And you'll also receive my other newsletter, the Price Targets newsletter, where we go over multiple charts every day, talk about real-time price action, and just catch up on some of our favorite names. All right. So if you're interested, again, first link down below. $15 a month, $40 for every 3 months. Try it free for 7 days. And if not, you can always just peace out. But I trust you'll be sticking around. I want to make this accessible as possible to all of you. And hence, that's why the prices, especially when you look at some other products out there that honestly I can attest to, because I do I do subscribe to them for literally research purposes, way more expensive. And I can confidently say, you guys, the portfolio as of today is about 350% in our options portfolio year to date. Okay, I know it's been a good year so far, but we were prepared, and I'm very proud to say that. Okay, so again, welcome to the winning team if you want to join. If not, no worries at all. I do appreciate you watching this video. Let's hop into some of these Tesla numbers. We'll take a quick look at the Nasdaq, jump into Tesla, and then close out the video with BTC, which is honestly ripping right now. So that's a great sign for, of course, the crypto markets, but some of our render Solana looking sick right now. So this is huge, you guys. And again, this is just, even as I'm recording this video, it's becoming more and more evident that this is the next phase of the bull market cycle. Okay, so let's go. Not there. So electric vehicle maker Tesla reported earnings after the bell, beating on both earnings and revenue. Shares were about flat after hours. Here are the results. Excuse me, you guys. Earnings, $1.19 versus $1.13 per share as expected. Revenue, $24.32 billion versus $24.16 billion as expected. In the year ago quarter, Tesla reported revenue of $17.72 billion and adjusted earnings of $2.52 per share. So 33% growth year over year. That is amazing, okay? Automotive gross margins came in at 29%. So this is amazing, you guys. Tesla, again, fluctuating a bit in after hours, but as I say so many times, the price action of Bitcoin and the crypto markets is a much better indicator of what will happen in the equity markets the following day, as opposed to even the future markets themselves, to see if the futures markets are not open just yet, not alive just yet. But this, I keep going here. I'm just gonna close out. But this is a great sign, you guys. It's a great sign for stocks going into tomorrow. Talking, of course, Bitcoin looking good. We'll close out with that. But Tesla looking good right now, and you guys know I posted that video. Was called like right before the new year that Tesla was oversold, due for a bounce, and you know what? Come early January, we did see that reversal in not only Tesla but growth stocks overall. And again, you guys, the portfolio could not have been better prepared for it. So also let me know, you guys, please, if anyone's interested in joining Waves Capital for real, if anyone's interested in joining the portfolio newsletter group, if you guys are currently a part of the newsletter and portfolio group, it would mean a lot if you guys just dropped a comment down below. Say share your experience. If you're having a bad time, if you're not enjoying it, feel free to share that as well. But if you guys, have ridden the waves over the past, almost month now, getting to the end of the month. If you guys have ridden the waves over the past few weeks, seeing these just multiplied our money, and just please share your experience down in the comments below. That is appreciated. So anyway, Tesla looking great. Tesla has broken, as of a couple of days ago, Tesla did break above this line of resistance right here that it began on November 1st. So that's a big deal. Tesla is technically in breakout mode. Right now, Tesla is nearing the top end of its short-term ascending channel. These two green bars, right, or these two green lines right here, of course. And honestly, right now, it seems extremely likely that Tesla does make its way up to test at the very least, excuse me, that Tesla does make its way up at the very least to test the previous low on this downtrend, which will come into play as a new high. Previous floors equal new ceilings, previous support, new resistance. Again, golden rules of macro right there. So for Tesla, that would equate to, like a 15% move to the upside from here. And if I was trading it, which I'm not anymore. Again, I had some 120 put options that went absolutely ballistic, and thank you, Tesla, for that. But not trading it right now. But if you are trading it, if you happen to be holding, say, again, some 217 call options, I would definitely be taking some profits, or consider taking some profits. Again, not financial advice, but if I were you, I'd definitely take profits around 165, okay? So that is Tesla. Once again, let's take a quick, and just to say one more time, where does that intersect? February 6th, okay? So again, early to mid-February, is my time horizon, or my kind of my time frame target for my upside targets, okay? And when I think that this short-term rally could start significantly slowing down, maybe even see a reversal, because that's just how things happen sometimes, okay? So that's Tesla. Take a quick look at the Qs and then close it out with the winner, Bitcoin. So again, you guys looking, let's go back to the daily. The Nasdaq, same here. I can actually get rid of these because this was a short term, and I will share that with it. I did just share that with this morning's in this morning's newsletter. But again, you guys, very, very evident line of macro resistance right here. Let's change that to red because this line's now red. Boom, macro resistance. We saw the breakout right here. We have seen now, similar to the S&P 500, 3 daily candle closures above this line of resistance. Earlier today, once again, did dip down. Perfectly tested short-term resistance, short-term support right here, and close the day above that macro line of resistance once again, speaking to the strength and the positive sentiment amongst investors. Okay, so again, this is good news. I think that at the very least, the Nasdaq, now that we have seen this breakout and Tesla's looking good, Bitcoin's looking good, I do think that over the coming week, I will say definitely by early February, I think the Nasdaq can test this conservative line of a shorter-term support, of shorter-term resistance, on this uptrend. Once again, just pretty evident trend line right here, and 7% just sounds about right when considering the move up we'll see in the SPY. I do think that over the next, I'll say 7 trading sessions, not week, but by February 5th, to play it safe, I do think that the Nasdaq will break. We'll see 310, okay, or the triple Qs at least. All right, so that's the Nasdaq. Let's close it out with Bitcoin. Before that, I just remembered that I didn't really talk about this, but fear and greed index, as you guys know, to reference the great 5%. Let's go. We are ripping right now. This is sick. Let's look at the 5 minutes real quick. I'm just looking at this in the little tab right here, and I feel we have to. So people are getting greedy, you guys. Once again, you guys know the wise words of the Oracle himself, Warren Buffett, Oracle of Omaha. Get greedy when others are fearful, and vice versa, fearful when they're greedy. So again, record amounts of institutional capital that have been sitting on the sidelines for the past year are now being deployed. Tech and growth sectors always historically recover before legacy sectors, which is why we're seeing tech and growth stocks really propel right now. At the same time, these capital allocators, these hedge funds, these institutions who are paid money to allocate capital, to have that money, make them money. It's harder to make money in this market right now, so you need to justify the price that your investors are paying you, or your LPs are paying you, in order to invest their capital. That means you're going to go a little more balls to the wall, I'll say, and you're going to get more risky. Of course, you do get greater returns in risk assets, and that's why risk assets are probably going to make a comeback very soon here, which is, again, what we've been seeing. So, again, you guys, be cautious. If we do break above 75 and get into extreme greed territory, that'll probably come early February, because everything is just aligning in early February. Even the January effect, it's no longer the January effect. It's going to be the February effect. So, again, early February, honestly, I think the markets continue to rip. I think we get into extreme greed territory, and I think that would be a great time for you to take profits on some of your positions. So right now, Bitcoin looking freaking amazing. So sick to see. And we are really closing in on, the target that's been my target for a long time. Let's zoom out here. My target for a long time. So again, just reference this intersection on Bitcoin's current very, very impressive ascending channel. Boom, ascending channel right here. This line of resistance coincides with, again, the target that's been my target for months now, maybe even half a year or so now, of $26,700 does coincide on February 1st. They do intersect, on February 1st. I guess you could say coincide too. But the previous low of the macro downtrend, candle wick low even, maybe we go even higher. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if we do like plateau out more around here, around like 28,000, mid 27s to 27,800. But I will say that this right here is my target range, from 26,700 to 28,400. And I do think we are going to be seeing this very, very shortly. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Of course, what's good news for Bitcoin is good news for Riot Blockchain. Great news for Render, Solana, all growth stocks across the board. Some of our favorite AI plays, and just all the plays that we talk about around here. So once again, if you want the newsletter that I'm actually going to write right after this, where I will cover Riot, Solana, Render, some of our AI plays. If you want those daily updates, if you want those daily charts, if you want to know how I'm trading on a daily basis, again, first link in the description box down below. If not, I appreciate you watching. And once again, I will catch you in the comments downstairs. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace, team.